So hello everyone, yes, I'm first. I've taken off the silly hat that was in the video and moved the scarf, and I'm ready to talk to all of you. I just want to ask a question first. How many of you have heard of the microbiome? Can't really see through these lights, but it looks like a bunch. These are the trillions of bacteria that live on and in us. It's really amazing. There are 10 times as many bacterial cells in us as human cells. That's 300 times more genes and more proteins that are being made. So we're mostly non-human. We're an ecosystem of organisms, and the human part is really just a habitat that other creatures can live in. So something really interesting about the microbiome is that dozens of health conditions are correlated with the microbiome, from autism to asthma, depression, anxiety, you name it. All these organisms live in us, and they can tell us a lot about ourselves. But there's one problem with this, and with a lot of interesting scientific research, which is that you can read about it in Nature or in the New York Times or The Economist or wherever, but you can't really do anything about it. So we set out to create a project that would change that. So science is often trapped in a lab. I mean, think about it. You read, you watch, shows on television, and you read in magazines, and you really can't interact with it. It's sort of like the old days of broadcast television. You can't interact. It's like before there was an internet. Except way more important, because if you're sick and you want to help yourself, so many doors are closed to you. You can't read these journal articles, even if you could educate yourself to understand them, because they're behind a paywall. And you talk to your doctor about it, and they think you're annoying them because you're one of these patients that reads Dr. Google and has all these opinions and ideas. And you don't really have access to any of the tools to start to understand your own questions about your own body, or about basic science related to your health. So citizen science is the process of involving the public in science, and it's desperately needed. It's basically crowdsourcing applied to your health. And there's crowdsourcing in so many other things. They're just not as important as basic scientific research. But this is about to change. So right now, the average age of recipient of an NIH grant is 46 years old. I mean, think about that. You have to go through elementary school, middle school, high school, graduate school, get a professorship, get a grant. At that point, you can finally ask a question about something that you're interested in, and only in this very narrow range. There are also only 5.8 million scientists in the world. If you think about that as a fraction of the 7 billion people in the world, that's really, really small. But let's take another look at this and say, okay, so how many college-educated people are there in the world? I found the number, it's like about 500 million people. So let's take that as like the educated masses. I don't know if that's true. College education isn't necessarily a measure of that, but whatever. So let's say it's 500 million people that could be involved in this scientific enterprise. So what would happen if that were just a common everyday activity, and people that were interested, that wanted to just participate in things, or that had a burning personal question, could be involved in science? I mean, science has taught us so much. There's sanitation, life-saving drugs, cures for diseases. What if we could all be scientists? So I'm here today because we started a project to do this. It's called Biome. We had the world's largest citizen science crowdfunding campaign in history, the first crowdfunded biotech company. And we raised a lot of money, and thousands of people joined our project, and we're really grateful to all them. And we've sent them their kits, and they're sending them back to us, and we're analyzing their data. And we give them access to cutting-edge DNA sequencing technology and a really easy user kit, to make it very simple. But the point of this whole thing is that we make the science accessible to people. We've packaged it up in a format that's easy to use. And we're one of the first people to do this in this way, but I think there will be many people that will do this going forward, because it just makes so much sense. There's so much need for innovation in the world, and it's all locked up with these experts that are valuable because they're experts, but really, we could all be mini experts or contribute in some way to this expert knowledge. We're all human beings with the capacity to ask and answer questions, and we could all participate in this if we just had the means to do it. So this is our team. I'm not a microbiologist, but we do have a few of them. We want to do this. That's us jumping up and down for science, which is kind of ridiculous. So really quickly, I don't have a lot of time. I just want to tell you some of the benefits of this. This citizen science makes sample sizes way bigger. So instead of 100 people in your study, you could have 100,000 people in your study. And the data is higher quality because people care about their contribution. They're not just complying as subjects in a regimen. Also, the research agenda changes, which I think is really important, because we're all going to be able to contribute to not just our data and our analysis, but to the direction that things go in. So there are a few other great things on there. We can talk more about those another time. I just want to say that what we're seeking now is a world where we can solve problems faster and get more people involved in science. So if you're part of an organization that's interested in doing that, please come see me because we'd love to work with you.